Alright, we're back with another episode of The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Once again, and we have fish boneheads. Spooky, I know. Oh man, they're kind of... I am getting my ass kicked right now. This is not really a good way to start the playthrough, but okay, so our next objective is to find the water town, which remember the guy that we had to go into the woods for?
Yeah.
So he gave us a note. I don't want to die already. That is not a good way to start off. So we talked to a guy in the woods who gave us a note. In real life, that's a lot more ominous sounding than in this game. If that ever happened to me, I probably would not take anything that guy wanted to say, cause...
I would.
What?
I would.
What? For what reason?
Spice things up.
What are you spicing up?
Life.
What is life too bland for you?
I mean, if I'm in the middle of woods to get myself in the situation in the first place, I think I'm a little bit too far gone anyways.
Oh. I don't know what you would be there for.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess. So that guy over there, he said something interesting because everybody in this town, they are villains in disguise. And I think that's a pretty interesting gimmick. That really leaves a lot to interpretation as to how this world functions, because Ganon's followers, I don't think I mentioned in the last playthrough, do you know, like, why everybody's going after us?
No.
Okay, so, like, you remember the last game where, we beat, so in the last game we beat Ganon, right?
Mm-hmm.
His followers were not too particularly happy about us doing that. So, their goal in this game is to kill Link, and it's a little... Shit just goes from, like, 5 to 11 real quick, because what they want to do is they want to take his blood and put it on Ganon's ashes as a way to hopefully revive him. Damn. I mean that's kind of intense, really, because like we didn't really get anything like too graphic in the last game. The closest thing I could think of is like Ganon exploding, and it looks like he exploded into like blood, but it was really just like ashes of dust or something.
Oh.
Just explode into body meat. Body meat. I don't know why that made me laugh. That's funny. So we have the life spell here, and I'm in dire need of it right now. It costs a lot of magic, but you know, it does what it says it does. It gives you life. I wonder what other thing gives you life besides pizza.
Oh, never.
How the hell does that even relate to what I'm talking about?
I don't really know.
At least with the last couple of times you brought that up, at least he was talking about the games, but like, I'm talking about pizza, and you bring up Hello Neighbor.
I'll have to find a different way to incorporate it this episode.
You just tried, you were trying to think of a way to put that in there.
Yeah.
I know you were. Well, randomness aside, this is the guy that, we have to show this note to, and Bagu. That sounds oddly familiar. I can't.
Sounds like Baku.
There we go. That's what I was thinking. And then we're out of this town. We crossed the river, and now we are ready to enter hell. Not really, but this is pretty much hell. This is Death Mountain, apparently from the last game, but apparently they've gotten a lot more maze happy since the last time we were here, because this is a labyrinth of mazes, and as we've specified before, you know how we feel about mazes around here. We're not really a fan of those.
Most certainly not.
But thankfully, I did a test playthrough of this, and I actually know where to go, but just because you know where to go doesn't mean you always are right. Gandhi.
I don't think Gandhi said that.
I know, I was being...
Yeah, but I don't think he said that.
I know.
Yeah, but like...
That's the point of an out-of-context quote.
Yeah, but like, I really don't think he said that.
You ever seen those memes on the internet where it's like somebody says something random and they just quote a random person to try to sound funny? It's like somebody said, like, let's say a random guy said, "Tits are the best." Abraham Lincoln.
TS was not tough. Wilting rose emoji. Sun Tzu.
Now that's probably the most random thing I've heard all day. And I was watching freaking YouTube shorts.
I'm trying to watch YouTube shorts on my DS right now.
Is that even possible?
I don't know. I'm trying to load YouTube right now.
I wouldn't even think YouTube would be able to do that on a 3DS of all things.
It's not loading for some reason.
I mean, I know the 3DS. The 3DS was... Let's not sugarcoat it here. The 3DS was really good. Because, like, that thing is a absolute... It's one of the chads of gaming consoles, in my opinion. That sounded weird, I know, but like, it's true. Like, the 3DS is so versatile, and it's, jeez, I am getting destroyed by these bonefishes. It was, I mean, you would agree, right?
Yeah, I would, honestly.
Because, like, you know, that thing could do a ton of crazy stuff, especially when you mod it. And we brought that up in one of our last playthroughs, but, how have you been on modding it? Do you still plan on doing that?
No, sadly not. I can't.
No?
I got unlucky with my...
Oh, wait. Yeah, I remember. You said your 3DS specifically, it's one of those models where you can't... Yeah. Oh, God, this guy. I remember this guy. He sucks.
I don't even really think it's a difference in model. It's really just like... It's just pure luck.
Did you just get an update that was just like, yeah, we're not gonna let you do that?
I think it was one of the most recent updates. It was like 2020 or something. But some 3DSs, when you try and do the...
I get lucky with the...
The website for the modding, like, so you can take it over.
Right.
Some 3DSs just don't let you go to that website. It crashes. It crashes in the wrong way.
In the wrong way?
Yeah, because it's supposed to make it like crash, give it to a white screen or something, and then you can do the whole thing with it. But for a lot of people, some of them just crash instead of doing the right thing.
Golly. I tell you, the enemies in this game can get freaking... insane. Some of them are even harder to beat than the freaking bosses, I swear. Like, this guy, look at that. That is, this guy would be out of place in a boss, because, like, it's literally, golly, like, Zelda 2, look, I have my fun with Zelda 2, but, like, that's one of its biggest problems, in my opinion, is that it's just unbelievably hard, and, like, I wouldn't say it's as hard as, like, well, Lost Levels was hard for a different reason. It's like with Lost Levels, the problem with that was just trying to get through everything. Whereas this one, it's possible. It's just that the enemies they just kick your ass. They just don't stop. Like, some of these guys are absolutely just monsters. I mean, they are monsters, but like, they're monsters in the way where they're just the dickhead variety. Because like, they just won't stop attacking you. No matter how many times you try to run away or jump over them, they just won't stop. And then you got these guys here. Like, look at that. You gotta make a very specific timing on that just to get over that. And it's just kind of insane. Some of the stuff they expect you to do. It just jeez. Like, every time I get hit by an enemy, I just wince backwards. Because, like, you get knocked back, and, you know, knockback, I'm not a too particular fan of that game mechanic. How do you feel about knockback? Ugh.
I feel like it's essential for some games because iframes sometimes complicates things because you never really know when the iframes go away, but knockback
that was close.
It's like a visual representation of iframes, and Because I know for the Sans boss fight in Undertale, you have no iframes, but it only deals 1 damage per tick. And the boss fight's still really hard.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's knockback normally, though. I don't know. I haven't really
I'm
played the
tempted
game.
now to just use life, but I'm not going to do that because I really want to get my attack up. I mean, my attack is up pretty decently right now, so I don't really have to worry too much. Okay, now this is where we gotta do a little something. In this cave, you will find a very helpful item. It's a hammer, and it helps you break blocks on the world map, and it's going to be very helpful, because, oh man, another pea bag. I'm on a roll this time. Like, I swear, I was doing a few test runs of the game before we started, just to try to see, like, the odds of getting a pea bag to spawn, and I wasn't really having a lot of... Okay, that clearly did not shoot anything at me. I wasn't having that good luck when I was doing test playthroughs, but now it's just pea bags galore. Just give me the piss bags. They're just throwing them at me. They just love me. They can't stop. That sounds kind of weird.
Did you ever use the 3DS function? The 3D function on your 3DS?
Before the... In the last 5 years... Yeah. Like, when I first got my 3DS, I used it sparingly. Like, I didn't really bother using it a whole lot, because especially on the original model and the XL models, the 3D wasn't as good. It just more hurt your eyes.
Yeah.
Really. It wasn't really until the new 3DS. The new 3DS made it better because they put an eye tracker in there, and they can actually sense where your eye is to adjust the 3D. And it's actually really good. And I've been using it a lot more ever since I started playing Ocarina of Time 3D. So I would say the 3D is good when it's, working. Some people would just say that's a gimmick, which, being honest, it ultimately is. But, like, whenever you hear gimmick, a lot of people, you say, oh, that's not good, it's bad. But it's like, I don't know, gimmicks... Do you think gimmicks serve a purpose?
I like gimmicks. When I was younger, I would love gimmicky things. Like, when I was really into Beyblades, they would have moving parts, and I'd just be obsessed with them. I don't know why.
But like with video game consoles, did you have that same mentality?
No, as I've gotten older, not really. I don't really like gimmicky consoles anymore.
Yeah,
or gimmicky things in general.
Because like that was kind of the thing with the Wii and the Wii U and the 3DS. It was really Nintendo's gimmick era when they were going away from, like, when they stopped with the GameCube. They stopped focusing really so much on hardware power, and they instead focused on, just unique experiences. And that's led to some good stuff and some not so good stuff. But like, it was a fun era, really, because like it was ultimately harmless, really. I mean, some kind of bad things came out of it. Like, you remember when it was a trend for a long time, everybody was throwing their Wii remotes at the TV.
Yeah.
Remember that? It was kind of funny watching that happen, but... And then every game after that happened, it's like, please adjust the wrist strap on your wrist. And like, it's in every game, and it wouldn't stop, which I understood, but it's crazy. That was some big thing that happened. And then it's with the 3DS, like, you remember the AR cards?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever used those?
I was obsessed with playing the AR games.
Face Raiders was interesting, but I have little memories playing those because I didn't bother with it that much because I just didn't really care for it.
I was absolutely obsessed with the AR games until I lost my card.
I don't even know where mine are. I think on my old 3DS case, I had... Oh, another magic container. Nice. On my old cards, I used them, like, as soon as I got my 3DS, I probably used them, but, like, most of the time, they have just been sitting, collecting dust, not being of any use to me whatsoever. Which is a shame, because, like, I feel like something like that really has potential to be really cool. Because, like, VR, because, like, VR was big, and now most well, I wouldn't say most, like a decent chunk of the big AAA releases usually have VR modes. Like, I'd say the modern Resident Evils, those have, you know, VR modes, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it is, I really, 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 really want to play Resident Evil 4 Remake in VR. I feel like that would be really awesome.
I love VR, but like after I play for like an hour, I get like motion sick and I have to sit down.
Well, I mean, I assume it's in the marketing, it's like, hey, take breaks so you don't
Yeah.
mess yourself up. Oh, man.
I can't really play big games on VR. I can only play short-winded games.
Right. Which, you know, I assume that's what most games are designed to be, you know, played from, you know, your eye perspective, not necessarily in VR.
Yeah.
So I get that, but here's the thing, I have a VR set. The problem is I can't fit it on my head because I got thick frames on my glasses, and it's a pain.
You could get a glasses spacer for your headset. They do make those.
Well, if they do, I gotta get my hands on one of those.
You could try on my VR headset, see if it's any better.
You have one?
Yeah, it's right there. Should be somewhere.
Oh, well, I'll look for it in a second. But if that's
might be under that pile.
Is it a PlayStation VR?
It's a MetaQuest 3.
Oh, I assume that's compatible.
I don't know. I think PlayStation is too greedy for that.
Yeah, because I was looking at the store a few days ago. The PlayStation headset VR2, I believe, it was $400.
Yeah.
That's as much as a PS4 nowadays.
I think that one cost 300 something. I got 512 gigabytes storage with it.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. I still haven't bought a SD card for my Switch 2 because here's the problem. They like you can use normal ones, but in order to I think transfer data, you have to buy a express SD card. And the problem is they only make they make terabyte ones, but they're like $100. And it's just insane.
Yeah.
Like even the 512, the 512 one was like 60, and that's probably the highest one I'm realistically probably gonna get, but I really want a terabyte one so bad, cause I mean, with the whole game keycard fiasco going on, I would assume Nintendo, or companies in general, they're not really gonna bother putting all of their games on the cart. Which is what I was assuming was going to happen. I had way too high hopes for third-party publishing developers because they don't. I assume they wouldn't bother.
Yeah, that'd be way too much effort.
Yeah, I mean, AAA studios in general. You don't really. It's more of a toss-up as to whether or not they'll deliver on things they've said they would deliver on.
I heard that Silk Song is supposed to be coming out in a couple of days from the time we're recording this.
Says Silk Song?
Yeah.
Yep. It's stirring up everybody on the internet, which is kind of crazy. Because I see why. Because here's the thing, I hear so much about Hollow Knight, especially since I want to get those fairies. Because I've played a decent amount of Metroidvanias, but whenever I see people talking about Metroidvanias, they almost always usually bring up Hollow Knight. If they're not bringing up Symphony of the Night or Super Metroid, they're usually bringing up Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight is such a fantastic, well-directed game. I need to really finish playing it though before I play Silk Song.
I'm sure it is, but here's the thing with me is that this is probably not a unique experience to me. It's just that when you hear a big game that everybody's talking about, at first you're usually like, oh man, why is everybody talking about it? Because you're playing other stuff, and it's usually really a big hill you have to cross in order to start playing it. And it's once you do cross the hill, it's hey, this is actually pretty cool. So it's just a circle. It just keeps going on and on. Because that was what happened with Resident Evil 4. Because everybody was talking about it. It's oh, 4 is the best Resident Evil game. And when the remake came out a few years ago, I was well, I want to see what everybody's talking about with Resident Evil 4. And it was the first game I bought for my PS5, and, you know, when I played it, I was like, holy dump, this is actually, you know, really good, and now it's probably one of my favorite games in the past decade, really. Because, like, I did 5 playthroughs of that thing, and I got an S+ on Professional, which is, you know, not easy to do.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But when we get to that, that one is going to be so much fun to play. That's going to be absolute blast. And here we have another heart container. A full one. I really appreciate it's a full one. Because, you know, and we mentioned this last time, last time I said, because, you know, they probably made it to where they split it up one game after this, because, like, you know, as an incentive to explore more, as for ways of adding more quests, which I don't think is a bad thing. I just think it, you know, sucks. Like, if you play Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, and then you go into the other games, you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. You gotta look for them now, and it's not the end of the world. It's just a personal nitpick I have. I'm sure I'll get over it eventually. So in this town, there is a interesting thing. This town has 2 upgrades we can get, because that's the thing. In the game, the towns, you can get the spells, and in some other towns, you can get... why can't I jump up there? What is blocking me from jumping up there? Because, like, in the towns, you usually get the spells. But in certain towns, and by certain, I mean just 2, you can get upgrades to your sword. Well, not really an upgrade to your sword, it's more like an upgrade to you, because this guy will teach you a technique called the down thrust. And basically, it is what it says it is. It just lets you, you know, do a down thrust on enemies, which I think is actually very helpful. And it's definitely saved a lot of heartache when it comes to just beating enemies, and sometimes you just want to get the drop on them, quite literally. And then the next thing we got here, I'm just going to talk to this old lady and just refill my magic real quick. How do you feel about the Zelda movie?
I'm pretty excited for it. I don't really know. I have not been paying attention to the cast or anything, but I'm really excited to see what the story is going to be about.
I made a short about it, because they had revealed the cast, and I believe for Zelda, you probably don't know some of these names. For Zelda, she's going to be played by Bo Bragison, I think that's her name. And then Link is going to be played by the guy who voiced Pinocchio in the live-action remake of Pinocchio. Which, you know, that movie's... But, I mean, the guy himself, like, you don't really... Most of the time, you don't really crap on actors for just being a part of something. Because, like, that's what happened with, Batman and Robin. You know everybody's feelings about Batman and Robin?
No, I didn't.
Everybody hated it because they were crapping on George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Joel Schumacher, because they're like, why'd you guys make this horrible movie? And it's like, Clooney's apologizing numerous times for Batman and Robin, because he's like, I'm sorry guys, like, my point is, I don't think, when it comes to, like, bad movies, you don't really should blame the actor most of the time for, like, the movie's faults. Because, like, the live-action Pinocchio doesn't suck because of the guy who voiced Pinocchio. It's, you know, the writers and the crew that, you know, worked on it. Because, like, the actors, they only play so much of a part. Like, they rarely have an involvement with what goes on in a movie. I don't really know. I mean, unless they're starring in it and producing it, that's an exception. But, you know, really, I just think that, you know, actors really get, you know, overhated a little bit just because they didn't have a choice. Like, it was just a job to them. So, you know, I think some of them got a lot more hate than what they really, you know, deserve to get.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a few more examples here.